Coming up this episode, snowy Leicester, a stroll along Woodbridge's riverside, and a quick look around the town centre of Woodbridge. Just having a quick look around to judge how much snow there is there. There you can see the Gateshead Sage that we saw yesterday in the last episode. You can now see how close the hotel was to the quay. Traffic moving freely on the quay, so hopefully everything would be okay leaving Newcastle. Happy to have parked in a covered car park. Well, we're in the car now. The snow we've been expecting is finally arrived. Not a lot at this side, but driving into Newcastle yesterday, on the southern side, a lot of snow lying already. Expected the forecast in Leicester's heavy snow for the first part of the day. So we don't really need fuel. 188 miles. It says I've got 290 to go, but I'm going to get some more just in case we get stuck and we'll have to keep the engine running anyway. But hopefully that's won't happen. So hopefully stop en route, get some pictures of how much snow's around. Having seen the Angel of the North on the way into Newcastle, I was keen to have a closer look before leaving. The main roads were clear at the moment, and I saw a tourist sign for the Angel of the North, so I decided to follow. It brought me to a large viewing area car park, well covered in snow but not deep. The Angel of the North is a sculpture by Anthony Gormley, completed in 1998. It is believed to be the largest sculpture of an angel in the world, and is viewed by an estimated 33 million people every year, due to its proximity to the major roads and the East Coast main line. It stands 20 metres tall with a wingspan of 54 metres, larger than that of a Boeing 757 aircraft. The vertical ribs on its body and wings act as an external skeleton, which direct oncoming wind into the sculpture's foundations. This allows it to withstand speeds of over 100 miles an hour. The sculptor states the angel has three functions. Firstly, as a historic one, to remind us that below this site coal miners worked in the dark for 200 years. Secondly, to grasp hold of the future, expressing our transition from the industrial to the information age. And lastly, to be a focus for our hopes and fears. Well, made it and parked up. Quite tired from the concentration of the drive. Parked at Leicester railway station car park, right at the back of the Premier Inn hotel I will be staying in tonight. We'll check in later on. Quite big snowflakes here, but not really sticking much at the moment. Time to meet up with my nephew in a local pub that's just 5 minutes from here. The Parcel Yard pub next door to Leicester train station. The name takes its inspiration from the building's original purpose as a sorting office and parcel yard for British Rail. You can see through the window that the snow is falling heavily now. The multicoloured building there is my hotel.
The store stopped for a time and we headed out. The Town Hall Square fountain in Leicester is one of the best loved sights in the city centre. It's situated in the middle of the Town Hall Square. It was designed in 1875 by Francis Hames, a local architect. The Corn Exchange Witherspoon's pub is actually a former corn exchange. We built in 1850 and a Grade 2 listed building. Well, Premier in again. Not quite as I expected. I stayed at this hotel probably half a dozen times at the past. A kettle in front of the mirror with the other side left empty. TV now on the wall. Large pillow in the room. Being a smaller room, it becomes more of a nuisance, and still no purple light above the bed. Having said that, it was clean and warm. And thinking about it, I had quite a few twin rooms here in the past, which were much larger. Bathroom, clean, good size. Time for a glass of wine and sit back and relax, reflecting on the day. It wasn't really that quiet. A large group had just left and the restaurant soon filled up.
Well, day 7 today, off to Ipswich. 2.5 hour drive roughly. We'll see what the main roads look alright. This road to the car park doesn't look too clever, but see what the car looks like as well. Oh, very slushy. You might see me go flat on my back. Hopefully not, I've got a bad back. Train coming in the background. Oh, look at this, it's pretty. Certainly snowed overnight. The old car doesn't look too bad actually. I was expecting a big cleaning job. It might free up with the wipers. We'll have a look. Right. We'll see what happens along the way. Yeah, that's not so bad. Cold.
The journey takes me down the A6 bypassing Margaret Harbour to join the A14 at Kettering, which then takes me all the way to Ipswich. I'm going to use Ipswich as a base, staying with family for 2 nights, but we're going to visit Woodbridge and Felixstowe, very close by. Stopped here quickly to clear snow from the front sensors of the car. There had been quite a bit of snow on the road up until this point. Arrived to Woodbridge around lunchtime to find an almost deserted thoroughfare. No snow here, but very cold. Woodbridge is a port town in the East Suffolk. It's about 8 miles up the River Deben from the sea and 7 miles northeast of Ipswich. The town is close to some major archaeological sites of the Anglo-Saxon period, including Sutton Hoo. The Yeo Bell and Shipyard pub in New Street is listed as dating back from the 16th century, but is thought to be even older. It's said to be the 12th oldest in England. The Drummer Boy statue is formerly known as the Drums of the Fore and Aft, and inspired by Kipling's story of a disastrous battle of the Second Anglo-Afghan War. Shire Hall, originally built by Thomas Fechtford in the neoclassical style, built in red brick and was completed in around 1575, with a courtroom on the first floor and held corn markets on the ground floor, now home to Woodbridge Town Council. St Mary's Church was largely built in one period, around 1417 to 1545. The tower stands over 30 metres high. A warm-up with a quick visit to the Bull Inn, a 16th century coaching inn. Around the bar you'll see parts of the original timber frame, which predates the current structure and possibly date from the 15th century. river is tidal at this point, so there's almost always some movement of water coming in or out. Looks to be a motorboat mocked up as a World War II naval boat. This is an 86-foot Dutch sailing barge, now a houseboat, currently on the market for $325,000. Another traditional Dutch barge is now an Airbnb houseboat. The Tide Mill, one of only a handful in the world still producing flour on a regular basis, and amongst the first tide mills in the country working on the same site for over 850 years. Most days you can even see the huge oak water wheel turning. The Anchor pub you can just see in the distance, that's where we're heading next. An 18th century traditional quayside pub, very popular. You can see all the tables have been reserved. Caught up with family now and we're off to a local pub for dinner. I did get a little worried here. I wondered if Freddy Krueger was driving at one point. We arrived safely to the Douglas Bader Pod in Martlesham Heath. It's named after the famous Second World War fighter pilot who flew out of RAF Martlesham. The pub was opened in 1979 by the man himself. The pub and nearby housing is built on part of the former airfield. Time to relax and enjoy a nice meal. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, enable notifications so you don't miss the next episode. See you next time.